All right, so just say your name and spell it out for us.
My name is Christina McQueen, Christina McQueen.
Okay. So question number 1 is, you filmed an episode of Naked and Afraid for Discovery Channel. Can you tell us more about your experience?
Well, I signed up for Naked and Afraid. I watched 15 minutes of one episode and was like, I'm from Eastern Kentucky, grew up in the country, I can do this, no big deal. Didn't watch any more of the show. Went on the website, signed up, they called me within 24 hours. I was on a plane within a month and in the jungle within 2 months. They sent me to Quintana Roo, Mexico in the jungle. So the first day of filming, we were in the jungle. I met my partner. His name was Steve. And we started filming, I guess it was around 3 o'clock. And we had to hike in the jungle around 6 miles to get to our destination. By the time we got there, it was around 7 o'clock, and we tried to get a fire started. Nothing would happen. And we were miserable. Like, we were in the jungle. The production team left. Everyone left us alone, and we were in the middle of the jungle. There were monkeys, tarantulas, snake, caiman. Anything that's scary, it was there. My experience was, it wasn't the part of being in the jungle. I knew that the insects were going to be really bad. I knew the mosquitoes were going to be really bad during my 21-day experience. But I did not know the jungle had fleas. And the fleas would come up around 6 o'clock at night when the sun was setting and would bite me every second until 8 o'clock in the morning. It was nonstop biting along with mosquitoes every night for at least 14 hours for 21 days. On top of that, I did not sleep maybe 8 hours in 21 days, and I only had 160 calories. It was a half a snake, 2 snails, and 4 very small toad legs is what I had in 21 days. I'm a hunter, and growing up in Eastern Kentucky, I hunted deer, rabbit, squirrel. That was how we ate. But in the jungle, there's thorns on all the trees, and we were barefoot, of course, naked. We were allowed to take 1 item, but that did not help me trying to hunt. It was like walking on glass. It was just thorns in my feet the whole time. So I pretty much starved. I lost 32 pounds during my 21-day challenge. But I persevered through it. It was the most physical, mental, and emotional thing I had ever went through in my entire life. But I had brought home so much positive from being on the show. And it has made me more grateful, more humble, and it's the little things that count, like running water. Just having a glass of water is amazing. To have food on the table, so it's really it's brought a lot of positive in my life.
Since your return home, has this experience been a positive or negative in your life?
Definitely a positive. It has definitely made me more grateful for everything I have. Grateful for food, water. Just being able to take a shower has been amazing. Sleeping in a bed, with blankets, having clothes, having bug spray. Huge. It's wintertime. I'm like spraying myself with bug spray, even though there's not bugs, because I completely am a little emotional, and I get really crazy if I even hear a mosquito. So it's been a very positive, though. I never felt hunger pains like I did in the jungle. Like I was starving. It felt like someone crawling and just scraping and taking a knife to my stomach. Like going into the 5th day, I only had a half a snake on the 4th day. So I went from the 4th day to the 17th day with no food, just water. And it makes me so sad to think that there are people out there that are starving and feeling this pain every day, and there's nothing they can do about it. At least I knew on the 21st day I was going to get to leave, and I was going to be able to eat. And there's people out there that's starving. So one of my goals in life is to help the starving kids, adults, anybody that's homeless. I really want to put a lot of my time and effort into helping these people, because I know exactly how they feel when you say you're starving. You have no clue what you're talking about. You have no clue that you might be hungry, but you have no clue that it's blah blah blah.
You don't have any clue?
You have no clue. So
I know you said you lost over 30 pounds. Has your eating habits changed at all since you've been back home?
you know, when I actually got back home from doing the show, my stomach was the size of my stomach was the size of a pea. So when my first food that I had was chicken and rice, and I took 2 bites of very small pieces of chicken and 1 bite of like a spoonful of rice, I was stuffed. So it took me about 2 weeks to get my eating habits back to normal, because I had to expand my stomach. But now I eat everything in the house. I wake up, I have food in my mouth. I have food in my mouth. When I take a shower, I have food in my mouth. When I'm watching TV, I have food in my mouth. When I'm mowing the lawn, I have food in my mouth when I go to bed. Eat everything in the house.
Has this experience affected you during any of your outdoor activities?
You know, I love the outdoors. I'm a huge hunter. I deer hunt in the winter and I bass fish in the summer. But wintertime, fine. Summertime, I literally will hear mosquitoes coming from miles away, and I start freaking out. I can't stand the noise, so I have had a little bit of post-traumatic, what is it? Post-traumatic stress syndrome. I have a little post-traumatic stress syndrome. It's really hard to say. But yeah, so that has affected me a lot, because before, you know, mosquitoes would bite me and I would just be like, mosquito, oh. But now I'm like bathing in bug spray before I go outside. It's ridiculous. So I do have that a little bit. But, you know, I was in the jungle, I woke up. I got like a 10-minute nap, which was amazing. But when I woke up, I had a tarantula about this big on my chest. And I was terrified of spiders before going into the jungle. So I would, 2 weeks before going to the jungle, I was trying to, be in the same room as a spider. Then I would try to pick up the spider, just getting myself used to it. But 3 weeks in the jungle, no sleep, no food, freezing because it was hot during the day, 50 degrees at night, raining every day in the jungle. And I was delirious. I woke up with this tarantula like this big on my chest. And I remember I just started petting it and just let it crawl off. Any other time, I would have been freaked out. So that's actually a positive thing, because I'm not as afraid of spiders anymore.
Since being on the show, has there been any major changes in your life?
Since being on the show, before going on the show, I had been a single woman for about a year. And since coming back from the show, about 3 months later, I met someone and fell in love right away. But, I'm a person that doesn't show emotions, very easy. But I fell in love. Take 2. So since being back, I fell in love with someone. I met someone that is just like me, but male. I mean, sense of humor, outdoors, has the same passion that I have about certain things in life, same hobbies, and it's just a adventurous type person, and it's been amazing. Been with them. I've been back for about 2 years now, and I am just happily in love, and my life has changed drastically, because I was a wild child before. I'm a little calm now, but I still get a little wild once in a while. Wild once in a while.
Do you suffer from any post-traumatic stress symptoms?
Didn't I just answer that? Since being back from the jungle, I do suffer a few post-traumatic, Since being back from the jungle, I do have a little bit of post-traumatic stress syndrome just from the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes, the fleas bit me every second, and it felt like little, like acid, like they were shooting acid in my skin, like every time they bit me. It was like every second. So if you can imagine just like 1,000 fleas on your body, then you have all these mosquitoes buzzing around you. We did, trying to prevent the mosquitoes from coming, we got, we would obviously have fire. The smoke was helping a little bit of keeping the mosquitoes away. I actually got termites nest. We burned that. That actually is supposed to be a mosquito repellent. But it actually didn't really work. They were still there, buzzing. But there was one mosquito for 21 nights straight. This one mosquito, I named him George. George would come in. I could hear him like, as soon as the sun was setting, I could hear George like, zzz, like I'm gonna get her. And he just buzzed in my ear the whole time. He didn't bite me, he just stayed right in my ear and buzzed and buzzed and buzzed. And that, for 21 nights, has literally driven me crazy. If I hear mosquitoes, any mosquitoes, like if I'm fishing on the lake and I hear mosquitoes, when the sun's setting, you can hear the swarms of mosquitoes coming. If I hear them coming, I freak out. I'm like grabbing the bug spray, grabbing the nets, and I'm like in the corner shaking, rocking back and forth like, no, can't deal with it. So yeah, I have a little bit of PTSD.
Has your sleep schedule changed since being back?
Sleep schedule, I only got maybe 8 hours total for 21 days. And I'm talking like never slept at night at all. Kept the fire going, I took the machete, I made a flute, I made a golf club, I made a spoon, I made a huge net that, it was like a wall that I weaved that I would put up when it would rain, because it rained every night and the wind would blow. And it was freezing, but I made that to protect me. So I was very busy at night, kept myself busy because of the fleas and the mosquitoes. But what was the question? I totally forgot what the question was. So I didn't sleep at all, but in the mornings when the fleas would go to their homes in the ground, the mosquitoes would fly away, I would get maybe 10, 15 minutes of sleep before I had to get up and start collecting firewood, because the jungle, it was damp, because it rained, all the time. So all the firewood that we collected, we had to collect during the day and dry out during the day by our fire. So we'd have firewood at night. So I didn't get much sleep. So when I finally got home, like the first night after the jungle, I was still in Mexico because I wasn't flying out to the next day. And I was laying in bed, and it just felt so weird. And I woke up and I was like crawling on the floor trying to collect firewood, because I was still, in that jungle mode in the 21 day, of being there. So, that was a little freaky, because I woke up and I'm like, trying to break the chair leg off and build a fire in the hotel, but I didn't. But I did the film, or I filmed the episode 2 years ago, so my sleep schedule now is pretty much normal. I wake up whenever I want to, and I go to sleep when I want to. I'm a night owl, so I like to stay up late. But so my sleep schedule is back to normal.
Did you develop any survival skills, and do you still use them today?
I did. Like I said, I was a hunter when I was younger, but I had weapons for that. And when you do Naked and Afraid, they allow you one item. And of course, mine was a fire starter, and my partner's was a machete. We didn't have anything to hunt. So I did learn how to make certain traps, like deadfalls, where, you could set it up and it would fall, if the animal came underneath like a rock. I also learned how to make a fish hook and a fishing pole. So I did pick up quite a few survival skills while I was there. I also learned how to create fire without matches or without a lighter. So there was a lot of things I did pick up, and also am utilizing them today, especially like fishing, and because I do a lot of primitive camping. So I like to, just even if I have a fishing pole, I like to make one just because I can. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Discovery has a Naked and Afraid XL challenge. Have you ever considered or been contacted about that?
They have contacted me to be on the Naked and Afraid XL. It's a 40-day challenge with 11 other contestants. I have declined 3 times, and they called me asking me to do the show, and I have said absolutely not. I mean, the torture of 21 days is, I experienced it, and I'm so glad I did, because it was an adventure of a lifetime. So glad I did it, but I really don't want to put myself back in a situation to where if I hear a dog 2 miles away, because my senses were amazingly, like, in 2 weeks, I could hear the production team literally 2.5 miles away talking, because my senses, the hearing just was amazing. My smell, when the production team would get to where we are, I would ask someone, okay, who had cinnamon in their coffee, because I could smell it on their breath. And so I literally, if I heard a dog 2 miles away, I would eat it.
What are your plans for your future?
My plans for my future is live by the seat of my pants. I mean, seriously, I've always been like that. Whatever the day brings is what I do. I love adventure. I want to spend the rest of my life with my soulmate that I have actually met, that I have met, and I just want to be happy. I want to be I'm grateful, and I'm very humble. I don't want the larger things in life. I just want to live a very simple life, and just enjoy every day to the fullest.